Hello and welcome to our online event, Modernising a Not-for-Profit. The event is run by Momentum in partnership with Wiise Cloud Business Management Software. My name's Al Emery, Managing Director at Momentum Software Solutions, and today I'll be emceeing the event for you. At Momentum, we understand not-for-profits or not-for-profit styled organisations, particularly from a business management software perspective. And so today we're partnering with Wiise and our own team to talk to you about the challenges of having outdated or on-premise systems, to show you an introduction to Wiise Cloud ERP and payroll, and in fact we'll provide a demonstration for you. Momentum is a mid-sized business. We have over 250 clients all around Queensland, and we've been operating for over 12 years delivering solutions to our clients. We have over 30 people in our team, a very experienced team of accredited and subject matter experts across ERP, accounting, payroll, HR. We're based in Brisbane and also on the Sunshine Coast. And we are a full service business management software provider. So we would do implementation for you, training, customization if needed, integration, and we also provide support. So a little bit of information about Wiise, and particularly we'll be talking about this in the context of a not-for-profit styled organisation. Wise's mission is to democratise technology, and you may hear the term digitisation of business processes. So really what the objective is to empower people to have the tools and technology at their fingertips without having to maintain software and servers, and with a special functionality built for not-for-profit and especially pricing. Wiise was created by KMG in partnership with Microsoft to combine the power of Microsoft Business Central with a local expertise to provide a hyper-localised solution for the Australian market, considerable value out of the box. Most businesses that run Wiise don't need customisation. It's a complete end-to-end business management solution for not-for-profits, including payroll, built on Microsoft Azure, integrates with Microsoft Stack beautifully, and is managed in a hosted solution as a SaaS environment. So what can some of the challenges be for a not-for-profit or not-for-profit styled business where they're delivering services and or programs? They may have funding from different funding sources. They may have long-term and short-term programs. Budgets might be fixed or they may change. And so where that becomes even more difficult is where multiple systems are non-integrated, systems are on-premise and hard to access remotely, operating important functions of the business on Excel spreadsheets, which are non-auditable and prone to error, outdated legacy systems, increasing cost of managing on-premise infrastructure, servers, networks and backups, etc. And a lot of manual reporting we see especially. So if you are feeling those pains from outgrowing your current system, Wiise is an ideal replacement, and businesses may, in their growth journey, start on a small business solution like MYOB Account Ride, Xero, QuickBooks or Reckon or Attaché, and then as they grow or become more complex, add multiple additional applications or especially multiple spreadsheets. So as the business grows, becomes more complex, there becomes a greater and greater need for a single solution. At the enterprise end of the scale, you may have heard of companies like SAP or Oracle. Great for large corporates or government, very expensive ERP solutions. But in the space in between, where mid-size organisations really need value for money, is Wiise. Some of the advantages and value adds that Wiise provides is industry template, so fast setup compared to many other solutions. Bank feeds with all the major Australian banks, ability to process direct debits, so particularly for businesses providing care packages, NDIS may need a direct debit functionality, BPay batch and banking integration in general. A very sophisticated payroll with single touch, including award interpretation, employee self-service, timesheets, rostering, and super. In addition to that, expense management, be that through reimbursable claims, credit card claims, AP automation through OCR of inbound documents, all on a mobile app, and e-commerce integration. There's considerably more than that. That's just a few of the key highlights. So what's the complete picture look like with a Microsoft or Wiise solution? So it's a financial management solution with very sophisticated dimensional budgeting and reporting. And that's a core part of what not-for-profits typically need. So you may be running multiple programs and needing to acquit on those. So what funding has been received and how has that money been spent? And they may be short and or long-term with multiple funding sources is also quite common. So you need that really strong accounting engine, accounting and finance. Projects can be run through the dimensional functionality, but also as projects. So there's quite sophisticated project and job structures that can be used in the job module, fixed assets and depreciation, and where needed, procurement that can include inventory or not, as well as service management and CRM. And then all around that, you've got integrations and other Microsoft applications that you can utilize natively because underpinning the technology is Microsoft. So integrated with bank feeds, single touch payroll, ability to use things like Power BI, export directly into an Excel spreadsheet, and in fact import straight back into the solution using other Microsoft solutions like Power Apps and Power Automate. So now I'd like to introduce you to one of our Wiise consultants, Samir Khan, and Samir is going to show you an overview of the Wiise business management solution, taking into account the key aspects from an accounting perspective, but also the payroll, and not to be underestimated, most not-for-profit styled organisations deliver their key services through their people, and their people are also usually their biggest cost. So having the ability to understand the number of people working on each program, payroll costs inclusive of all of your on costs being written back to each program, so you've got the full picture of what each program is delivering, both from a funding in perspective and also management of your costs. So over to you, Samir.
This is Samir from Momentum Software Solutions, and today we are going to be demonstrating Wiise as an ERP for the not-for-profit organizations. Wiise is an ERP that is hosted on Microsoft Server Services. To access Wiise, you can go to your wiise.pc.dynamics.com website and just log in with your username and password that you use for Outlook or other Microsoft services. Since Wiise is hosted on the cloud, it is one of the most secure ERPs available. It is hosted on Microsoft's cloud services. Therefore, chances of your data being exposed is low. First of all, we are going to show you what the user interface looks like and how you take actions in the user interface. So this is our role center. If you are at any other page of the ERP and you want to go back to your role center, you can always click on the company name and it's going to take you back to the role center, or you can bookmark this URL to go to the main page of the organization. On the top left corner, we have our other Microsoft services shortcuts. And on the right corner, we have some buttons. For this button, we have for quick search, we have a button for notifications, one for the settings, one for help, and we have our user button over here with the user profile. So as I was saying about the role center, all the buttons and the displays on the main page, they are all customized to what role you are using to run your ERP. And the role can be changed from my settings over here. So right now we were in the business manager role center. We can change that to a site manager or an accountant, and the buttons and displays on the main page are going to be changed accordingly. So we have a few ribbons on the role center page. At the top here, we have buttons for each functionality of the business. When we click on one button, we can go to the action that you want to take or the report that you want to view for that functionality of the business. And then we have another ribbon here, which takes us to the list of customers, vendors, items, etc. And then we have some action buttons here. So if we want to add a new sales quote, if we want to add a sales order, we can use these buttons to go to those documents. If you want to view the sales quotes or sales orders for a particular customer, you can go to the customer and open the ledger entries, and it's going to show you a list of all of the documents paid or unpaid, outstanding. You can view all of the documents here. Since Wiise is a Microsoft system, most of the Microsoft facilities are available in Wiise, so we can share this page to someone in our team. We can edit in Excel. This is one feature which is really helpful in lists or in journals. So when you click on edit in Excel, if you have the edit the Wiise or Business Central add-on installed in Excel, you will be able to make changes to the list, and then you can publish the changes back to Wiise from Excel. And if you just want to keep a copy of this list in Excel, you can open in Excel and save that list in Excel. So you can view this customer's orders through the ledger entries, or you can click on this fact box pane, and it's going to show you under the details tab. It's going to show you their ongoing sales orders or ongoing sales invoices. We have buttons here for their posted sales invoices and shipments. And then we have customer statistics, so you can see how much balance they have left, how many outstanding invoices they have, how many payments they have made, just for quick customer reporting. And then under the actions button, we have a quick report on the activities of the business. And we have some more fact boxes that are telling us how the business is going, how many ongoing sales, purchases, and payments we have. further down, we have this Insights tab, which is actually Power BI reporting based on our data in this system. So if we have tasks set up, we would be able to look at them here. This is just quick business performance reporting from the database. This is a cash flow chart. We have the most used accounts here, a performance graph, trial balance, and then we have some more buttons down here. One of the best features that Wiise provides Australian businesses is the bank feeds. So because Wiise is a localization of Microsoft's service, which is Business Central, Wiise has worked hard to bring as many localized services to the system as possible. And one of the service they have developed is bank feeds. So what the bank feed service does is if you have your bank set up to get bank feeds in the system, you can go to your bank reconciliations and the system will automatically populate the bank feeds according to your bank statement. And that is going to help you with bank reconciliation as well as, just to view how many payments or how many receivables have been processed from your customers and the bank as well. Another feature that helps with that is the payment reconciliations journal. So what this journal does is the bank feeds are automatically imported in the payments reconciliation journal. What you can do is you can select the system to apply the payments or the incoming amounts automatically to the customer and vendor invoices, customer and supplier invoices. And the system is going to look at your database. It's going to look at the outstanding invoices from your customers and vendors. And if the amount and description matches, it's going to apply the payment against that particular invoice. If the system does not match any invoice, you can manually apply the invoice to apply the transaction to an invoice in the system. And once you have done your applications, you can either post the whole journal, the whole list as a bank reconciliation, or if you are happy with just the payments, you can post the payments only. This feature is really helpful with direct debit payments. The next thing that we would like to discuss are dimensions. Dimensions is what reporting is done through in Wiise. So an accounting concept, which is tagging transactions, is what is at play in dimensions. You can tag invoices to a dimension. We are going to go to the invoice of this customer. And in the invoice, we have tagged this invoice to 4 different dimensions. So the area has been tagged to 70, business group has been tagged to home. So Wiise has the ability to tag to 8 different dimensions, the same transaction to 8 different dimensions, as well as the line of the invoice can be tagged separately as well. So you can tag this invoice to 2 dimensions, and then if you think the line can be tagged to a different dimension itself. You can do that through the related information of the line and then going into the dimensions. And this is going to be just for the line because the database in Wiise has a separate table for the invoice header and a separate table for the invoice lines. The tagging is going to be separated as well. All of the entries that are posted in Wiise go to their relative tables. So if we want to look at a particular general ledger entry, we can search general ledger entries even by half spelling the words, and we can go to the general ledger entries archive. Here we can navigate from the entry to the set of entries that took place. So we can see this entry back here, which is a direct cost to a vendor. We can click on entry and then find entries. So we can see that this entry actually relates to a posted purchase invoice, and most of the information in Wiise is hyperlinked to a document or a list of entries. So if I click on one, it's going to take me to the invoice that was the origin of all of those entries back there. And from this invoice, I can view the dimensions that were tagged to the invoice. And I can also view the dimensions for the line. Since Wiise is a Microsoft service, it has been developed using Virtual Studio Code and AL language. Most of the integrations to other systems from Wiise are available on the Microsoft App Source Marketplace. So we can, I just searched for Shopify in Wiise, and we can see there are a few suggestions that have been made for integrations in the app source. And if we want to view more of the suggestions, we can click on show more, and we can also go to explore more pages and reports. Right now, Momentum Software Solutions is integrating one of our clients to their Shopify store. So we are enabling Wiise as well as connecting their Shopify store to the ERP. And that is very easy with Wiise, and it is possible because of the structure of Wiise and the ease in scalability that Wiise offers. So if your business is growing and you're adding more features to your ERP, you can do that in Wiise. You can add more tables, you can add more connections between existing tables in Wiise. The development and integration is easy because most of the services that are available, for example, Shopify and other stores that you would be setting up on marketplaces and EDIs, they have already been integrated with Wiise, and the setup is really easy for any business. Particularly for not-for-profit businesses, fund management functionality is available in Wiise, and the setup is easy for it to be activated. And now we're going to look at Wiise Payroll. Wiise Payroll and Wiise ERP are connected so that when you complete a payroll and Wiise Payroll can transfer the journal automatically to the ERP. You can use the journal in payroll as well and make any changes to the journal as you want. In Wiise Payroll, the user interface is very simple. It is similar to the interface of the ERP, but this is a separate system in itself. Wiise has partnered with ePay so that the two systems are integrated. And in the interface, we have on the left our buttons to the functionalities of payroll. We have our business settings here. Then we have a button for the employees, the payrolls, the reports, leave, timesheets, expenses, and tasks. And on the right, we have our profile button from where we can sign in and sign out. You can use the search bar to search for any employees that you have. The search bar is limited to just employees. And here you have a help button which can take you to help articles. Again, because ePay is an Australian product, this system has been localized for the Australian businesses as well. In the company or the business settings, we have a few tabs for the business details. We have a tab for the chart of accounts where we select the account that takes the entries for a particular transaction. So we start with setting up these accounts over here, which are the default accounts. And then if we want added complexity, we can add pay categories and select the expense account for the pay categories. You can select the accounts for your leave, liability, as well as expense. Split by location. So the dimensions of the ERP can be tagged to the transactions of the payroll. And you can simply click on split by location so that the transactions are entered in the ERP with those dimensions tagged. You can add pay categories in the pay categories. In the pay categories tab, there is no limit to how many pay categories you want to add. And the setup for a pay category is really comprehensive. You can select which payment classification your pay category belongs to, whether you're paying super on top of it, or if there are any penalty loadings. You can add linked categories. So, for example, if we have casual ordinary hours, any overtime can be set up as a linked category. Also, the leave categories you can set up. You can add as many leave categories as you want. And again, the setup is comprehensive. So you can set up when the leave is going to be approved, how much allowance is going to be taken, and whether there is a pay category that is reporting the leave category. You can add deductions, expenses, as well as employer liability categories. And you can also add qualifications so that you can add a qualification to an employee. If they run out of their certificate's validity, the system will give you a notification and you can request a new certification or a renewal of the certification from the employee. Next, we are going to go to our employee list. This test database, we only have one employee, and we have our tabs for the employees setup. So their details, their emergency contacts, tax file declaration, and their opening balances. Then we have our pay run defaults where we can set them up on a pay rate, add their job title. We can select whether they have a template for their pay categories and leave categories. And these templates can be set in the payroll settings just down here. We have our pay rate templates and leave allowance templates. What these templates do is if you add pay categories to a template and you apply that template to an employee, they will have only those pay categories to their employee card. So there is less room for error because not all of the pay and leave categories are going to be associated with that employee. This helps if you have a group of employees on the same leave and pay categories. Back to our pay run defaults. We can select what pay rates this employee is going to get. Once we select a pay rate template, we won't be able to see the rest of the rates. Same for leave allowances. And you can also apply a template here. In the pay run inclusions, you can add any additional earnings, deductions, expenses, super adjustments. So this is going to be added for this particular employee. And in every pay run, as a default, these inclusions are going to be added on top of their salary or their default pay rate. And again, the setup is really comprehensive. So if you're adding an additional earning, it should be set up as a pay category first, and then you can add it to the pay run inclusion. So if it is an employer contribution and a fixed amount, you can add it here and save it for this employee. Same for deductions. There should be a deduction category set up. It's going to take pre-tax in this example. And it can be a fixed amount or a percentage of their gross earnings. Also, if they have any tax adjustments, if they want to pay extra tax, as well as if they want to pay some expenses, you can add that as well. When we are in the pay run, we can see the employees' earnings and how much leave they have accrued. If you want to, you can also there are some actions over here that you can add to the employee's pay run. So you can add earnings, a lump sum payment, an expense. If they have taken leave, you can make that edit over here. Once a pay run is finalized, we can view the pay slips and download the journal from here. When we come to the reports, the most comprehensive report is the gross to net report, which is a breakdown of the total earnings. Everything that was included in the pay run is included in the gross to net report. There are other reports that can be viewed. That was a quick roundup of the Wiise payroll system. So that was a quick overview of Wiise for not-for-profits. Please let us know if you have any questions and if we can help you in any way. Thank you.
Thanks, Samir. And so hopefully you all found that quite an informative look of how Wiise looks and feels, how it can handle the types of challenges that you might have in your organisation. And so we would invite now any questions, and also you can see on the page in front of you links to our website and the Wiise website. We're available by phone or email anytime if you have any further questions. And so thanks everybody for attending the event today. We do record these, so if you have registered for the session, we'll provide you with a recording. And of course, we're very interested to talk to you if you're interested in understanding more about how Wiise can help your organisation. Thanks everybody, and have a great day.